Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Inflames toys cross Newsoul toys, 1/6 scale Sha Wujing from A Journey to the West. Alright, so most of you might know this character as Sandy from the old Monkey Magic TV show, but in the traditional Chinese story he's known as Sha Wujing, which is I guess the Sha monk. And I previously reviewed the figure that they released first out of this new Journey to the West line in Kool, and that was a pretty fantastic figure, and I think this one has pretty much topped it in pretty much every regard. They have teased Jubajie and Tang Sanjiang, which is the Tripitaka and the Pigsy. I think they're going to be coming out over the next few months, so hopefully I get those soon. While I think of it, thanks again to Charles from 1/6 Republic for organising the pre-orders for me for these particular figures, because they are pretty hard to get and they do sell out pretty quickly, so I'm not sure what sort of edition run they have on these, but I'm definitely glad to finally have this in my collection. I'll just quickly go through the packaging and accessories. I'll just grab him out of the way. The packaging is pretty much on par with the best from Hot Toys. Everything in there is foam, so pretty much in the style of their old DX figures, with the cardboard insert there, with gorgeous artwork and styling across the board, so can't complain about the artwork at all. And the accessories are pretty much, the attention to detail and the craftsmanship in these accessories is pretty much second to none, if you ask me. I'll quickly go through each one. The stand is pretty much your stock standard base. I do prefer that this time they gave the clear translucent stand, or the post here with the Sun Wukong figure. It was the sort of Hot Toys style dynamic stand, which was the sort of black bendable one, which I guess isn't too bad, but sort of ruins the look with the black post there. But the base itself is the same sort of style, so I like that. The hat here, now the hat I think is just plastic. I'm not quite sure how they've done it, because it looks like all of these separate sort of mold lines are different. So I'm not sure what sort of material. It feels like plastic, and it's sort of hard, not overly flexible, but it does really give off that sort of straw hat style to this sort of traditional hat. And it does come with this string, I guess strap around his neck or his chin, and it is slightly adjustable as you pull those through those little holes there. So very, very nicely done and styled there. He comes with his beads that he puts around his neck, and so the small ones I assume around the neck, and these ones go around his shoulder area, and they are nicely done. They are a nice sort of glossy black. I think they're just plastic with a string through the middle, and that's pretty much it. It does have a nice sort of gloss to it, so I really like that. It comes with this little duffel bag, which is nicely tied together. It feels like there's like a bit of a sandbag or a foam bag or something in there to give it that weight. And they've just sort of tied it nicely in that knot, and so you can sort of hang it on the end of his staff there, or have him hold it and so on. So I wouldn't try taking that off to ruin that look, but it does look pretty nice the way it is there. So, and the material is just that sort of nice sort of fake khaki type material, so it looks very, very nice. The sort of blanket, I'm not even going to bother trying to take these off, because it looks all sort of styled and knotted up, and I would never be able to recreate that look. But these straps sort of come up like so you can strap them around his shoulders and so on. And that's all. The rope that they've used here is really, really nice, and they've tied it in this nice sort of pattern around the blanket itself. And the blanket is like a really nice soft material, and it's got that nice foam feel to it as well, so it's just an amazing sort of an accessory to have, and it's very realistic the way they've sort of tied everything and just folded everything up, so cannot complain about the quality of that at all. I do love this little suitcase that he comes with, the sort of patterning around the material here. I think it's all it feels like plastic, but it's, you know, it's got that fake wood look to it. The gold detailing is just an incredible sculpt. So I love this sort of a fake pattern of that sort of straw type sort of traditional Chinese material. So that looks very realistic there, and you have the traditional sort of wood gloss along the edges here, and all of that bronze sort of paint app around the locks and so on. So there is a bit of a lock here there is no key that you can unlock, but just the look of it is just incredible. And you've got the real string sort of strap around the handle here, tied together like so. So together, the way they've sort of tied all of that and manufactured that, it's just incredible. So another beautiful accessory on display there. He does come with a few hands. So he does come with just 2 standard hands on him to hold the staff, and then he's got these other sort of specific pose hands. The paint application's not too bad, probably not too Hot Toys standard on the hands, but definitely better than some of the ones that I've seen from Enterbay and Sideshow. So overall the moulding is pretty good, and they do look nice when they're sort of in their meant or intended pose. So very good there. And the last accessory, of course, is his staff. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like metal, although I'm not quite sure if the shaft here is metal or not. It feels cold, so it could be, but the I guess the blades at the top here are definitely not metal. The Sun Wukong staff that he has was definitely metal, which was a very nice touch, and it had really awesome engraving in it. But this one here has similarly fantastic molded detail along the bottoms there. Nice paint app on the blade itself. Love these little rings, and he's got these little fur tips here that you can sort of pat down with some water, and the other tip here as well. So overall, an incredible array of accessories that pretty much rivals anything that I've ever seen from any Hot Toys or Sideshow figure. So I'll just grab the figure now and give you guys a close look at that. Alright, so here is the figure and the costume itself. Just the tailoring and the number of layers and so on is pretty damn outstanding. So I can't really fault this figure in too many ways at all, apart from maybe just some of the areas of articulation, but I'll go through and give you guys a closer look at the figure and the costume. So the head sculpt to start off with. I love the head sculpt. I guess it's, you know, because it's just a traditional story, there's no sort of source material that you're trying to base the look off. And I guess this is just their interpretation of these particular characters. I did love the monkey head sculpt, and this Sha Wujing head sculpt is every bit as good. The paint app is more of a stylized, cartoony type of paint app, and so it doesn't have that sort of freckling realism of Hot Toys, but it has that sort of painted shading that just gives it that level of detail that many Sideshow figures are lacking. So I love the molding in the beard there. I actually think the way they've molded this beard and the way they've sort of painted it is even probably better than the Hot Toys Obi-Wan bearded sculpt. And the eyes have that nice sort of glossy look to them. It's got a nice sort of a determined stare to him. So it does overall look fantastic. I do like that they've included these little metal chromed rings here around his ears. So these earrings look really nice, and he's got this sort of a ring on his head there that similar to the monkey sort of ring. So his bald head there. So it's got that, even the bald head has got, you know, it's just a touch of that sort of nice freckling to give it that extra realism. So overall, I can't complain too much about that head sculpt at all. The costume, there's about maybe 3 or 4 layers to this thing. The main aspect, of course, is the green, I don't know what they call it, outfit here, and you've got the arms here that sort of have this flowing effect. So the tailoring there is really nice. You'll feel this little bendable wire just along the edge here, and just along the edge here as well, and you'll feel wires all along the edge of the part of the skirt down here. So you can sort of pose him, you know, with that costume flowing in the wind in sort of any sort of direction you really want. So they give a lot of posability there. There's this green sort of mini skirt, or kama if you want to call it that, around the back here, which I'm not actually sure where that finishes and starts. So it seems to go up to this white bit here, which then goes up and under this purple vest area. So the purple vest area is quite nice, and then just stops there. So I'm not sure if that's just one whole piece and they've just got a sort of a seam mark that's hidden by this particular belt here. And similar to the monkey belt, it is just clipped on there, but I haven't even bothered trying to take that off, and just in case I ruin the look and have to try and figure out how to put everything back together. And then there underneath there is a separate white shirt underneath there as well. So overall about 3 or 4 different layers. So it just gives an amazing sort of authenticity to the figure. For the pants, he's got the nice sort of soft kung fu pants. So the material there is really nice. You can sort of feel that underneath the legs here, he's got like some sort of padding. I'm not sure what that is, but it definitely seems like they've padded out the thighs at least. The calves here don't have any padding, but the thighs definitely have some sort of fat suit or something underneath there just to give it that extra girth. It does sort of hinder the articulation, particularly in the forwards motion, so I might just have to play around with that just in case there's a bit of clothing or something in there stuck to it. But the material itself is really nice, and then you get to the shoe area here. So this whole white area that's tucked over the top is a cloth as well, and then you get his nice kung fu shoes, which are sort of nice kung fu cloth shoes, similar to, I guess, the Hot Toys DX04 Bruce Lee shoes. So everything here is you know, made of real material, so none of it is plastic or molded or anything like that. I guess the only parts that are plastic would be these gauntlets here, that I guess try to replicate metal, but anything that is sort of meant to be some sort of fabric material is definitely replicated in some sort of fabric way in this costume. So it's just an outstanding piece of tailoring, and I can't really fault it in any way. And because they've added all of these wires, especially to this main green shirt and dress, it just looks incredible. So I have seen some of the latest pose photos on some of the Facebook groups, and they do definitely pose a lot better than I do, and I'll definitely be using some of those as inspiration. So hopefully hang out for me to post some more photos once I get this posed up the way that I want to. But I'll just quickly grab the monkey figure as well and give you guys a comparison against how they look together. So hold on a second. Alright, so here is the monkey in the pose that I've probably picked to stick with for the moment. I'm not too sure if I want to sort of lift him up on that dynamic stand and have the little cloud underneath him like they've included, just in case I damage this outfit. But I'll see how brave I get once I get the team put together. But the articulation on the figure, overall the body quality is probably, I would say, probably better than Entebbe at least, and it does have all the articulation points. I guess similar to the monkey figure, I sort of had a problem in rotating the elbows. So you can bend the elbows, but just be very careful how you rotate them out. So as you can see, I can't really, you can sort of see the bit of the rotation there. So you just need to loosen the joints gently before you sort of go in any sort of major direction and snap something off. So, but apart from that, all the rotation areas are there. The neck, I don't see any sort of problem in the neck joint here. One of the collectors who got this figure early indicated that they weren't happy with the neck joint, but I personally can't see anything particularly wrong with it. The feet here are on a nice ball joint, so you can feel it move, so you get all the rotation in there, and it's nice and firm. So hopefully it doesn't have any of the issues with the Hot Toy Spider-Man, for example, where the ankle joint sort of snapped. But on the face of it now, it feels quite nice and firm. So other than that, his legs and so on move quite well to the sides, but just watch for that fat suit and the articulation going forward. But other than that, all the articulation points are there, particularly in some of the photos that I've seen where he does look pretty damn sensational. And together with the rest of the team, as they come out over the course of 2016, I think once the monk and the white dragon horse come out as well, it's going to make for an incredible looking display in my collection, at least anyway. And it's definitely going to be a centerpiece in mine. I love the Journey to the West story. I grew up watching the Monkey Magic TV show, and I think these interpretations of it, whilst not to that sort of campy style, this traditional style is just perfect for my collection. And the overall quality of all the accessories and so on that you have with this particular figure, I pretty much give it at least a 9 out of 10 on my scale anyway, which is right up there with the best of Hot Toys, and definitely better than some of the sideshow figures that I've got recently. So hopefully you like that look at this Sha Wujing figure from Inflames Toys and Newsoul Toys. Again, I haven't really heard much about Newsoul Toys, but Inflames Toys, if they keep making figures of this quality, particularly from this line, I'll be picking up every single one of them. So hopefully you like that quick look. Hopefully you can click that subscribe button and stay tuned for upcoming reviews. I've got the Sideshow R5D4 coming as well, and Hot Toys Kylo Ren. So hopefully you can stick around for all of those. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.